Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Hat with me, Street, and Richard, the creator of the Top Hat Game. And I almost just went and then just went off track a little bit. But today, we are going to be discussing why Gamecube fans are lunatics. That's a strong statement that you've made there that you've made me read out.
Yes, indeed.
Explain why we're doing this.
Basically, I've noticed from making videos about game consoles over the years and gaming history in general that the GameCube fan base in particular has a high concentration of lunatics.
I do have some agreement with you, but are they crazy?
They seem to be, or at least they don't seem to be able to take a joke or accept anything what's negative, what's ever said about the system, whether it be factual or not. So they don't just get angry about opinions, they get angry about facts about the GameCube as well. It's like, they're basically like, leave the GameCube alone, the GameCube's the best thing ever, how dare you make any remarks about it? And that's how they act.
Yeah, it is weird.
I'll give you an example, or some examples.
Oh, listen.
My wife, Lady Decade, she has been uploading a lot of content on YouTube, Instagram,
I've seen
Twitter,
bits and pieces
everywhere recently. And one of the things she's been doing recently is she has been allowing her Patreon backers to ask her questions, which she answers at the end of the videos.
Okay.
And one of the questions she was asked was, I think it was literally, what do you think of the GameCube? And her answer was, again, it was a bit of a jokey answer. It's like, well, it's all right, but what did it really add to gaming other than a handle?
Yeah, that's the joke, isn't it?
Yeah, but people were so angry about that. Even though she went on to carry on giving other reasons she wasn't that fussed about the GameCube, because she was just like, well, the Xbox and PS2 both added more to gaming that generation. Again, that really angered people as well. And she was like saying there's a reason that people opted for those systems over the GameCube, because they brought more to the table. Again, people were angry. Really, really angry about all of these literal facts. They're not even opinions. These are facts.
Yeah.
That the GameCube was the least popular of the three.
Yeah, I mean, we poke fun at Nintendo fans quite a lot. But this seems like a real subset. It's almost like... a
fandom within a fandom.
It's almost like Nintendo fans are like Christianity. And GameCube fans are like the...
Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. I'm glad that we're on the same page. It does seem like they're more angry about stuff there's no reason to be angry about than the general Nintendo fanboys that we tend to deal with most of the time.
Yeah.
It's strange.
I guess it is because the GameCube wasn't popular. And I think they're still angry that the GameCube wasn't popular, because in their minds it was such a perfect console. Everyone should have bought it and everyone should know how mighty and great the GameCube was. So I suppose that annoys them that people are still, even if it's in a jokey manner, referred to, the GameCube was shit, just had a handle. Yeah. So that makes them really, really angry.
Okay, so we've got a choice of which way we want to take this video now. Okay? Do we talk about how terrible the GameCube is, right? And immediately anybody that likes the GameCube will turn off? Or do we talk about the reasons why it wasn't so bad and try and keep them around for a little bit longer before we kick them?
I'll kick them in a bit, because I like to torture my victims first.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit of why we think the GameCube isn't as bad as what everybody says.
Okay,
well, it had a handle. That is the first thing that we need to talk about.
It was portable. It had a handle.
Yeah.
No one can deny that.
Yeah, handles are great. Handles are on lots of things that we use every day. Cupboards, doors. Doors would be useless without a handle.
Even cars. So handles are a good thing. And the fact that the GameCube had one, it also makes it better. Yeah, I do love the GameCube handle. It's such a satisfying, tactile experience to see the GameCube and then pick it up, pull it in a cupboard and shut it.
Yeah. If you had a GameCube and it didn't have a handle, it would just be a box. This makes it more than just a box. It's a box with a handle.
That is cool.
These are good things.
Yeah.
The handle was a different colour to the actual console itself, which then added some variety to... It was visually stimulating because it had contrast.
That's true.
I think that's important to talk about as well.
It did have It's had a fun library of exclusives.
Okay, we're going to go serious now.
Yeah, it did have a fun library of exclusives.
It had the best 3D Mario ever released on it.
Okay, let's we're going to keep this video serious. We said for now we're going to be serious for a moment. Let's be serious for a moment. Let's talk about what was actually good about the GameCube.
What was really, really good?
Okay. It introduced Pikmin. Pikmin's amazing. You've got
is a
Pikmin
really,
1
really
and 2.
good series,
Pikmin, very, very good games. You had Super Smash Bros. Melee. It brought the Smash Bros. Franchise to an all-new level, the most popular game on the system.
Fantastic.
So that was
fantastic game. One of the best fighters of all time, potentially. There are some great ones up there, and I think that might be up there with it. Early Tekken, early Street Fighter almost. It's a great, great game.
It's had a Fire Emblem game on it, the first console-based Fire Emblem game ever released in the West.
Yep.
That was another really cool thing about it.
Good things.
It had loads of Dreamcast ports, which was cool, I guess. But I already had a Dreamcast, so I wasn't particularly excited about it. But it was nice to have the option to play Dreamcast games on a Dreamcast or on a GameCube.
Yeah, Sega on Nintendo. This was a big thing.
That was cool at the time.
It was cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to have a look and see if there's any GameCube related stuff up here that I can talk about. The controller. The controller wasn't terrible. It was also one of the first mass market wireless controllers to ever come out with the Wavebird. I can't think. Yeah, definitely one of the first mass market. Yeah. So,
but let's talk about the library now, where it really trips up on itself.
Are we getting through the? Good
we're going to have to bounce back and forth. I think between good and bad.
Okay.
With the GameCube's library, a lot of the key IPs, the biggest games that fans wanted on the system, they didn't deliver to the degree that,
Is this me talking about Mario
market would expect. Like, let's be honest, Mario Sunshine was a joke in comparison to Mario 64.
Yeah. The problem. Do you know what I think the biggest problem with Mario Sunshine is? The fact that Mario 64 was so much fun at the time that when a new Mario game was coming out, you wanted Mario 64 2.
Of course you wanted Mario 64 2.
And that wasn't Mario 64 2. It wasn't the same. It didn't play the same. And that is what everybody, especially me, really, really wanted at the time.
So they didn't give us what we wanted.
Yeah.
And the same thing, they kind of gave us it at the end, but I look at it more as a Wii game than a GameCube game. We got Twilight Princess, which was like a logical follow-up to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But before that, we got The Wind Waker, which it's a good game. I'll give you that.
It's fine.
But it did not deliver the magic of Ocarina of Time, nor was it the game that anyone wanted. Yeah. No one at the time wanted their Zelda games to look anything like that. No. Now, people can reflect back on it and go, oh, that was amazing. Well, it's not what we wanted.
It was a fun game.
Yeah, but it was not what we wanted. No. And anyone that tries to tell you otherwise, they're literally talking out their ass.
Yeah, I completely agree. Double Dash.
Again, I didn't like Double Dash.
No.
So a lot of people do now.
It's a good game. Yeah. It's fine to play now. It was okay at the time. But it wasn't Mario 64 2.
It did Mario Kart 64 2. Yeah, it didn't have the same magic as Mario Kart 64. Yeah. It just wasn't there. It did not feel as fresh and exciting. There was another really good game, which I should mention, because someone else will in the comments if I don't. Paper Mario 2. That was really, really good. 1,000 Year Door. Best Paper Mario ever.
Yeah, great game. So there are some good ones, but there's also some not so good ones, which is kind of the problem.
But it's the fact that we've been going about all these games. Imagine if we tried to have the same style of discussion about the PlayStation 2. Wouldn't even be possible because the library is so much bigger and better than the GameCube.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be possible.
No.
The PS2 eclipsed it in every way imaginable.
Yeah. There wasn't as much shovelware on GameCube as what started coming later with Nintendo consoles, though.
Yeah, because it was that's what happens. If a console's somewhat of a flop, you do get less shovelware because why invest in a console what no one owns?
Good things. The price.
It was dirt cheap.
It was worth nothing.
Yeah.
You could go out and pick up a GameCube for what did it end up being? 129.
I can't remember. I got it on launch day. It was that cheap.
Yeah, £129. I think you could go and pick one up from Boots Pharmacy.
I got mine from either Electronic Boutique or Game Station, whatever it was the brand at that time.
Yeah.
I can't remember which was in at that time.
What year did it come out?
2002, I think, in the UK, maybe 2001.
I think it was still EB.
Yeah. I remember where I got it from. It's from Lewisham Precinct.
Nice.
Yeah,
but it was cheap, and that was great. It gave you really cheap access to a console, a current gen console. I'm not sure what it was on release, but I remember you could pick them up for £120.
There are good things about the GameCube. There are. There's no denying that. But
Four-player with no multi-tap.
It was somewhat of a commercial failure because it wasn't as good as the original Xbox. and it wasn't as good as the PS2. Arguably, it didn't even bring as much to the table in terms of novelty as even the Dreamcast either.
Agreed. Yeah.
So you can see why most people just were had a sense of apathy towards it.
Yeah. You bought the GameCube to play Nintendo IPs.
Yeah, and
which is exactly the same as what happens when you go out and buy a Switch now. You don't buy a Switch to go and play the latest, best, most high-powered, high-graphical games that exist. You go to play Nintendo IPs.
Although that was the case, though, that wasn't the hope at the time, if that makes sense. Like the Super Nintendo, you didn't buy a Super Nintendo to play Nintendo IPs. You bought it to just play games in general. So I was hoping for a lot more with the GameCube. It ended up being a massive letdown for me. Yeah. Like, I was expecting so much more from that console.
Yeah, it could have been so much more.
So why do we think that GameCube fandom gets so defensive over the system?
It's because
they can't even take a joke.
I don't think there's another system that gets as much fun poked at it.
Do you think that's what it is?
As the GameCube. Considering that there are some real pieces of shit that exist.
The Wii U gets a lot of fun poked at it as well.
Why? Because everybody bought one and immediately put it in their loft.
That's not true, is it? But yeah, no one bought it the same. But Google Stadia, that gets taken the piss out of a lot.
Nobody talks about the Google Stadia. That's the thing. True. Because it's so terrible, nobody gives a shit. Almost the same as like the CDI and the 3DO. People talk about it in certain circles.
But there's no one there to defend them. That's what you're saying. Like the GameCube.
No, but nobody really cares. Because a lot of the fun that's poked at it is completely true. Whereas with GameCube, we kind of have a bit of fun. It's just like, let's poke the bear a little bit. And
why does the bear always go rah back? That's what I'm confused about.
Because bears do. Bears do. You poke a bear, it's not just going to sit there. It's going to eat you.
So you're basically saying the GameCube fan base is an angry bear.
Yeah, we poked it too much. You poke a bear a couple of times, you might get away with it.
Are you saying it's like, I can't remember the character's name in Full Metal Jacket? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen Full Metal Jacket?
I have, but not for a long time.
I can't remember his name. Someone will be able to tell us in the comments section. The guy who goes mad and shoots everyone.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
No, I shouldn't really compare the GameCube fan base to shooters, but
yeah,
that is a bit far.
Yeah, maybe. But I do think that's why people get so upset. Is because there's not as much bad about it as what we make out there to be. But there is still quite a bit.
There's enough badness that you can crack a joke about it. 100%.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, people should be able to take jokes.
Yeah.
But if you have the same jokes made about you, every day for a year, it's a bit different to once a month, isn't it?
I get what you're saying. There is that. But for GameCube, that would be for a person. The GameCube's not a person. Why are people so stupid and moronic that they are attaching their own identity to a game console? What sort of sad act would you need to be to do that? Like, you'd have to be a right loser to attach your identity to a GameCube.
To have your entire personality dedicated around games, you mean?
A game console, not games. Like, you can have a church around you surrounded by games, but not one console.
You're trying to basically say that you're more of a... Your personality is not just games. I would beg to differ.
Games is my job. Not my life.
That's a tagline. I don't know. I just think that people do need to kind of chill out a little bit and take the joke, but at the same time, I can understand why they're getting so angry about it.
Have you ever got so angry?
It's something that they love.
But have you ever got so angry that you'd be willing to defend a corporate product?
What's your favourite game ever?
That's hard to say.
Your favourite game, the game that's absolutely faultless, that does everything perfectly.
There's no such thing, but I've got a lot of love for Final Fantasy VII and Ocarina of Time.
Well, Final Fantasy VII is ugly as shit.
You think it's ugly as shit?
Yeah,
it is ugly as shit.
Damn it.
It is. I can see flaws in stuff I love.
Yeah, and the gameplay mechanics, like it's so slow to get into. It feels like fast paced, but it's not. It's slow and boring and bulky.
No, I think the pacing's really quick.
The movement's awful.
Final Fantasy VII.
The movement's awful.
Like, I'll give you an example of why Final Fantasy VII is as good as it is. My wife, Lady Decade, she didn't play Final Fantasy VII for the first time till about 5 years ago.
Okay.
After playing a lot of modern JRPGs, and she still said it was the best JRPG she's ever played.
Okay.
Even though it's dated as it is, it was still better than most.
You're both deluded, but fair enough. Final Fantasy VII's okay.
But I don't get angry.
The remake's a lot better.
I see people.
The remake's better.
I'm not playing it.
Why not?
What's that? It looks nothing like Final Fantasy VII. It's
You
not.
think it would destroy that?
Cool.
Yeah, no, of course it doesn't look anything like Final Fantasy VII. It looks nice.
Yeah, but we're going completely outside.
No. I'm goading you into eventually being angry.
You're not going to make me angry, but
See, that's annoying, right? Because this is the point that I was trying to make. It's annoying because you're a level-headed, reasonable human being, and that's why you're not getting angry. Shame not everybody's like that. Eh?
Yeah. Sorry out, you GameCube loser lunatics. Cheerio.